I gave fish $10,000 and let them trade stocks all on their own. But getting here took months and started with a completely different animal. 3 years ago, I watched Michael Reeves' video where he did something similar with a goldfish. And I thought, why don't we do this with an actual live stream that is happening right now? The technology exists in order to do it, and I build this channel on having the funds to do stupid things like this. In fact, I've done something similar. So here's what I was thinking. I will take this 24/7 live stream of birds coming and going in this area. Every time a bird comes into the frame, we assign it a random stock from the S&P 500. And while it stays on screen, eats, chills, whatever, we hold that position. And when it flies off the screen, we sell the position. So we're going to be selling a lot of stocks, essentially. Let's see if it works though, because who knows, maybe it will. Computer vision is really easy to implement nowadays. I mean, really, even 5 years ago. One of the most popular ways to do this is you only look once, or YOLO, which is funny because my brain's current algorithm is also YOLO in this project. YOLO learns what something looks like based on the data set that you give it. Then it splits your frame or image into a grid and looks through it to see if there's an object. It will then give a confidence score on that object being a bird or whatever you're looking for. And that's it, very simplified. But because of modern hardware and algorithm optimizations, you can get really, really fast with this. Now, let's start easy. Let's see if we can grab a live stream using Python. Yep, pretty easy. Wasn't really that hard. Next, let's use YOLO to see if we can track the birds that come on screen. Honestly, pretty easy. Maybe I'm just such an incredible programmer, or I just have like a Claude Max account. But honestly though, you can do this with like such little Python code. You can go in the documentation and you're done. That's just why I love it so much. Now we're able to track the birds and do some sort of like futuristic surveillance on them, which feels a bit creepy. But I'll also set it to assign a random stock so that when the bird is on screen, you can see it with it. And again, this library is just such a piece of cake. It's honestly kind of ridiculous. One issue that we're running into though a lot is occlusions. Sometimes a bird will either go behind this branch, another bird will get in the way, or the detection will just not recognize it for a second. And when the bird is recognized again, it will think it's a brand new bird, thinking, let's buy a new stock. And these are fast, jittery animals. They're unpredictable, but we can make it so that if a similar looking bird disappears and then reappears in the general area of pixels, we can reassign that bird to the one that disappeared. Again, it's not like a perfect system, but it's just the one that we have to deal with. I'm also using something called byte track instead of the standard one that comes with YOLO. I found better results of the tracking algorithms with it, so honestly pretty cool. Now, you know what would be really reckless? To just kind of go live with it and just say YOLO. So let's see how this performs on historical data. And we can do this with something called backtesting, which I did in the last video I did of this. And a lot of you subscribed there. There are a lot of libraries that do exactly this, but in layman's terms, here's how we are going to do it. So I'm going to take an existing stream and grab about 12 hours of it. I will let the OCR process run and record every moment that a bird is on and then off with the corresponding stock it used. We then get a list of all stocks that were grabbed in this recording and download the data for a specific day by seconds, which is a lot of data. We then map our data over top of it and we run a simulation to see how much money we would have made or most likely lost and see it on a graph. First, we have to process a 12-hour video. Yikes. If only we had bigger hardware, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Modal. Modal allows developers to easily build apps on top of AI infrastructure with programmable infrastructure, elastic GPU scaling, and unified observability. So for computer vision apps like this, we need some powerful hardware that can just run for 12 hours straight. Rather than having to provision a server and building a whole dev environment, I can actually just add a decorator here in Python, and automatically we use a GPU in the cloud to complete whatever task we want, whether that is, something stupid like this, or using large language models. But I can free up some space and instead use parallel processing to get the job done faster. There are a ton of examples you can just play around with, like using Llama CPP to do some Qwen 3 inference, flux context, fine-tune a large language model for a different use case, and a lot more. I mean, you know what you can use a GPU with here, folks. Locally, this would have taken me like 90 minutes, but doing it on Modal did it in about 8. So thanks again to Modal for allowing this reckless behavior on my channel. I don't know if I should thank you or hate you. I ran this result about 3 times so we would have some actual random assortment. And we lost money. We lost 50 bucks, which honestly not as bad as I thought. Not good though. 95% of our trades are under 1 minute. We basically are only holding for like 3.5 seconds. It's just complete noise. I even decided, hey, let's try identifying the bird species to see if maybe there's like some sort of correlation between a certain bird type and our losses. Some pattern I could find, but really it's just a nothing burger. I just wanted them to stay on screen for longer. And it got to a point that no matter what correlations I did, nothing was working. Was I making a stupid decision? Is correlating how people buy stocks with birds on a live stream dumb? I went into a depression for a couple of days. Maybe this coding video thing is a fluke. Should I just get Fireship to buy my channel? But then it hit me. What moves randomly, but within boundaries? Fish. Which is like what Michael Reeve did. It's why he did that. Why didn't I listen? The one issue with these models off the bat is they can't detect fish of any kind. So I had to grab a data set online and try training it. And it worked, but when we track, it would intersect. So what if we could segment? So I found this new model called YOLO E that lets you put in a text prompt and it will automatically segment. The tracker works much better and doesn't give us issues when the fish intersect. Let's build some tests. And I ran the tests and patterns started emerging. Wait, we're making profit? The fish know the game better than we do. But they don't know transaction costs. Neither do I, clearly. So again, 99% of fish are on screen for only 20 seconds or less. This means that the transaction costs are eating us alive, basically. The only winner here is interactive brokers, as it always is. Another wave of depression hit me. Why can't I get these trades to work properly? I almost gave up until I remembered. What if the fish were together? Individually, fish are random, but together, schools of fish exhibit collective intelligence, organized chaos. The market works the same way. Millions of random traders creating emergent order. We can create a democracy system. We split the sections into quadrants with random stocks. Whatever one has the most fish, that stock is bought with all $10,000. Then the tank gets split in half. The top half says we hold, the bottom says we sell. Again, this is looking a lot like Michael's video. Damn it. It was perfect. I'd create a democracy that allowed fish to extract maximum shareholder value that would go directly into my pocket. So I built the democracy system and watched the fish curiously vote on each station. I took a full day's worth of data and backtraded it over the last 30 days. And the results shocked me. $446 profit. That's a 4% profit. Not only were the fish intelligent, they were catching up to the S&P 500. And just when I thought that this was done, $10,000 just hit the bank account. One last thing though, the bridge. We have Modal running our tracking on a cloud GPU. We then create a standard interface for interactive brokers so that our fish can talk to it. Then we create a bridge which connects to a Redis instance that uses blocking pop to get the events as fast as possible. This would be things like buy Nvidia or sell Microsoft. So I ran it through the paper trading side of it to make sure that the integration worked. And sadly, it worked as expected, meaning I have to now go live with this bad boy. So we ran it for about 3 days, 3.5 days roughly, and we lost money, a lot of money. My wife is divorcing me and leaving tomorrow. The top performers here, we have Hims, which is like a online pharmacy, I think, but they were my best performer. They went up to about, well, not even 1%, better than nothing, I guess, right? And then ARK, don't know who these people are. Oh, it's an ETF managed by Kathy Woods. Of course, an ETF. I should have known. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, by the way. Then Lunar, Tesla was a big one. Ignore the USD here. Robinhood, Apple, Nvidia, Unity, and even Reddit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Now the bottom performers, wow, okay. These like really hurt me. And it's funny because the AMC one was on the first day, and that one just killed me. Because if you look over the last 5 days, it's only $2.14. And so when you buy $10,000 worth of that, you're getting a lot of stocks. We lost a lot of money there. The fish were not nice to me whatsoever. But it's funny though, because I must have just chose a really bad time to trade. Over the last 5 days, the S&P 500 went down by almost 3%. So yeah, we went down by roughly 12%. On the first day, we lost like 7.8%. That was basically all from AMC. Then the next time it was negative 2.3%, with the last one being negative 2. But hey, we got up by 0.2 on the last day. But really, that's just what you expect. This is a complete gamble. It was just pick a stock at random and hold for a unspecified amount of time. You didn't really need fish to do that, but it was kind of cool learning about some computer vision technology. You can obviously look at the S&P 500 and be like, oh my God, technically speaking, on this day, the compounded values of Delta 6 would have, shut up. You're just gambling. That's what this is. It's just gambling. So I encourage you to not do this. I have the privilege of being able to do this because I'm a YouTuber and I get paid well to do it. If you want to know more behind the scenes, more in depth of the code and just more, consider becoming a channel member. I also want to say sorry for not posting the source code of the last project. I still have it somewhere, but around the time the video blew up, I got countless DMs saying people were pretending to be me and asking for money, and it just wasn't a good look at the time. I'm still debating about releasing it, but let me know. Should I release this one as well?